Good morning, students. Lesson 11, New Empires and Kingdom. That is continued explanation. Video number 3. In this video, we'll discuss about two important ruling dynasties of South India that were Pallavas and Chalukyas. Pallavas spread their region from Kanchipuram to Kaveri Delta, and Chalukyas' region was between Doab of Raichur. Doab means area between two rivers, means Chalukya's region was from river Krishna to river Tungbhadra. And these two dynasties used to raid upon each other, means they were attacking on each other time to time. Ravi Kirti was name of poet that wrote about Pulakesin II. Pulakesin II was ruler of Chalukya dynasty. And according to Ravi Kirti, Pulakesin II raided both in east and west coast. But Chalukya's victory was short-lived, means it was for a short period. After some time, Chalukyas and Pallavas, both dynasties came to an end, and new two dynasties, Rashtrakutas and Chola dynasty, came in existence. And according about these two dynasties, you will study in class 7. Now we will discuss about the administration of these two dynasties, how they ruled. Land revenue was remained important for those rulers, and they collected land revenue by help of some important ministers. Some important posts of their administration were like Sreshti. Sreshti means chief banker, and Prathama Kulika, that means chief craftsman, and Mahadandanaika, it means judicial officers. So these were main chief administrative posts of South India. One important fact was that one person can hold many offices. Like Harisena, who was Dandanaika or chief judicial officer, he was also having other posts like Kumaramatya and Sandhi Vigrahika. Kumaramatya means important minister, and Sandhi Vigrahika means minister of war and peace. So Harisena was having three posts: Mahadandanaika, Kumaramatya, and Sandhi Vigrahika. Another fact was that posts were hereditary. Like if father was having one post, his son got that post after death of his father. Then next topic is a new kind of army. Like earlier rulers, some rulers were having their well organized army. They were having elephants, chariots, cavalry, and on foot soldiers in their army. Beside that, some military leaders also provided troops. Troops means soldiers to the king whenever they were needed. And those military leaders were not paid regular salaries. Instead, they were given some land, and they received land grants from the people who do agriculture on that land, and that land revenue was salary of those military leaders. And those military leaders were known as Samantas. Whenever ruler became weak, those Samantas tried to make independent rulers of their area. So Samantas become powerful in their areas when a ruler became weak. Next topic is assemblies in the southern kingdom. Assemblies means group of people. Inscription of Pallavas mention number of local assemblies. So there were number of local assemblies to administer different departments, and those assemblies were known as Sabha. The assembly functioning through subcommittees means they were having different branches, small committees. One committee looked after irrigation, another committee looked after agriculture operations, another committee looked after roads. Like that, different functions were organized by different committees. One was UR, UR, it means village assembly, and one was Nagaram. Nagaram was an organization of merchants. So, like that, they were having different assemblies and committees. Next topic is ordinary people in the kingdom. So, regarding life of ordinary people in kingdom, we got some glimpses from the Kalidasa's plays. Kalidasa was a writer who wrote plays in Sanskrit. He wrote one play, Abhigyan Shakuntalam, in which was story of Dushyant and Shakuntala. Dushyant was a ruler, and it was story with Shakuntala. So, according to his plays, Brahmins used to speak Sanskrit language, and common people used to speak Prakrit language. And one another glimpse we get from Chinese pilgrims' writings. Chinese pilgrim Fayan noticed the plight of those who were treated as untouchable. Means we come to know about his writing that some people were treated as untouchable in that time of society. They were expected to live on the outskirts of the city. Means they were not allowed to live in cities. They remain in outer parts of the cities. And whenever they used to move in cities, they strike with piece of wood, and by hearing this sound, uh, other peoples avoid touching him. So we can say that untouchability was prevailing in that time of society. So that is end of the chapter. So you read the chapter from your textbook also and try to solve the question answers.